Welcome to Kamisha Reviews. We are back again. The Challenge All Stars Season 3, and I think Season 4 we're going to try to get in. But first, I want to say thank you again to the Queen sitting to the side of me. Ayanna, how you doing, Mama?
Hey, what's going on, Kamisha? Yeah, Kamisha's the OG. She gets the tea first. So tune in and share it with a friend.
Let's talk about this shirt, Rachel Fitness. What's going on with that?
Yeah, Rachel Robinson, Challenge OG, has partnered with the Challenge official, and they've done a giveaway. Like, look, the Challenge community, they have so many gifts, so much love, and through the Challenge workouts, it's a series of 6 episodes, full body workout, and then some specific workouts where you can like see some of your favorite challengers really trying their hand at one of Rachel Robinson's workouts. So you have Devin, you got Corey Lay, you have Nelson, Mark Long. Just check them out. Go to the YouTube channel, The Challenge. You know, I got a Fire Stick, so I just go to YouTube on my Fire Stick, type in The Challenge, and they're right there for you. So I'm excited for it. Rachel sent me this cool swaggy shirt, so I'm gonna give her my shout outs on my Instagram, which is Ayanna Superhero on IG. So you know what I mean, check it out. It's The Challenge workouts. Check them out. They're great. So that's why I'm repping her right now because, I've been incorporating some of her skill set, you know, not only from her personal site, but from the challenge site to just diversify my own weight loss journey. And it's a up and down journey, y'all. But, you know, that's what it's about. Baby steps and just feeling good going into your next phase of life.
Yes, ma'am. And like I told you, I just started my little bit of a workout journey, which, like I said, people don't know about me. I used to be literally, people thought I was a coach. I was like eating under 1,000 calories a day. It really was unhealthy. I will say that. My family was worried about me because I would not only that I would work like 12-hour shifts. Then I would go to the gym and run 10 miles. Yes, it was a crazy time in my life. I was doing a lot. I don't know what was going on, but I was like, once I got hooked on working out, it went crazy. So now working out for me has to be gradual because I know myself. I'll turn into a monster and you'll see me as a stick and be wondering if I'm eating today. So we're not doing that again.
Yeah, you know, and at this stage in the game, you know, not to age anybody, but you know, it's no secret. I'm a person that's over 40, so I might not be trying to become, you know, the next Arnold Schwarzenegger or Jennifer West in my moves. You know, at the same time, I would like to stay out the hospital. I would like to not have to be on, you know, blood pressure medicine. And not to knock anybody that has to, you know, medicine to stay alive. However, you know, from those lessons learned, you know, just small things. It doesn't have to be a huge, you know, huge change, like you were saying, Kamisha. But you know, we do what we can. You know, add a bike or add a little roller skate. You know, for me, it's adding the switch on coaching. It's also adding, you know, the Rachel Fitness workouts as well as a few other things like picking up these girls walking up and down my stairs every
I have to take that workout out. I might do a video about it. I might have to hit Rachel up and see if she want to do a collaboration or something. See if she can get me over this hump that I am.
You know, just do a little 1 minute. You know, and I mean, for me, you'll find that if you go on the challenge workouts, there are some exercises that I have to modify. You know, just for my own. You know, if there's a knee workout where you got to get like, up on your knees and then go down really quickly. You know, at the end of the day, I know me, in order for me to get to a place where I can jump really fast and jump very high, I have to be at my level. So I'm in my own living room. You can do it in your own living room or space where you have access to streaming and get the job done. Sometimes I have it on my phone. I won't even see the video itself. I just listen to the audio, and I'm doing it while I'm doing my walk, just listening to, you know, the voices of people being encouraging. You know, that's the one thing I can say about the challenge community, as well as now the survivor community. Now that I've been baptized into the land of survivor, it's about surrounding yourself with motivation and people that can speak to doing something new, different, and at their best level, at their highest level. And you can't go nowhere but up from there. So let's get to it. Episode 3 and 4, Challenge All Stars.
let's get into it now. So Melinda, poor thing, she had the injury from All Stars 2, and it really hadn't healed. And like me and you talked about this before, us hurting ourselves compared to when we was our 20s. It's like I can understand and feel and receive that she hurt herself last year and is still not healed. Try to come through. I I understand 100% and believe it, because for us at our age, breaking our leg or hurt and trying to come back a year to do the same thing. I'm not saying nobody can't do it. I'm pretty sure they can, but it would be a struggle. And she kept it real. I thought, and to me, I respect her as a G. And she's like, look, somebody else could be here doing this, whatever. Let me just go ahead and bow out gracefully. Respect it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Melinda's a very strong competitor. She's a strong player. It wouldn't surprise me if she's asked back again for All Stars 4. So I don't think this is the last that we've seen of Melinda. At the same time, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Come on now. But see, look, the thing about it, she left and she was going to battle Tina in elimination. And, we saw two women leave, before really anything had happened. And
well,
we
yeah,
really
Tina gets a bye though, but she earns another star. So we walk into this episode where Tina is up. She may not be in the authority yet, but TJ tells us early on that collecting those stars has a meaning, and it has some and possibly an advantage in this game.
Let's see, Mark is good. And he's doing real good after everything happened. Kendall and Kellyanne, they're in the yoga world and all these things. I know they have this little yoga company or whatever. That's cool. But Veronica is like trying to get Tina as far as she can get it. And I get that too. But I'm like, I think in my mind, strategy wise, even though she's sent into elimination, is that guilt?
Well, real talk, we got two things going on. All Stars 2, you had the palace. All Stars 3, you got the treehouse. So, there are all of these hints that if the OGs come together, or if other people come together, that would provide a certain level of influence in the game. So I do think it's a little bit personal to want to, ride for your people. Early on in the game, there was that whole fiasco with, Tina's name being thrown in. So I do think that this gives her an opportunity to balance that out a little bit.
Because the treehouse, which is Sylvia, Jemay, Veronica, Tina, and Ronnie, and I guess Derek, which I guess because he's in the room, he's a part of the Lions, which he's not trying to fight it. He's cool with it. They're going against
They beat him, join him. I think that was one of those moments. It's like, well,
you know what I'm saying.
Let me go ahead and try my hand at this.
He being smart. Honestly, I'm not gonna say anything until something really gets crazy. So they're going against Kellyanne and Kendall. And, Nehemiah is looking at like, man, these are my two biggest people in the game. You got Melinda, Latarian, Gone, West, they came up together in the beginning, the three of them. And that they were best friends. But, of course, everybody hates West. Everybody hates West.
Listen, and, as a viewer, it's like this. Logically, I get it. But Ayanna just being Ayanna, why be mad at the guy? You're on All Stars, and it's the All Stars where it's only finalists. Why not pull out all stops? You are not in the Peace Corps. You are on All Stars going for $500,000, $250,000. Heck, folks were sabotaging each other when folks were just only winning 10 grand in a bike. So you're going to be surprised? Why judge the man? I do think there's some missed opportunities for folks to make an alliance by kind of dragging old business to the table. And we see that progress through this game.
Why do you think that West is kind of coming to MJ? Because of him and his partner? I mean, like he's already looking at MJ like he wants to take him out. MJ looking at West the same.
Well, look, you kill two birds with one stone if you can target the winning team from the last season, full stop. Because boom, if they come together like Voltron and are just superpowers, if you knock one of them out, in a sense, it's kind of like knocking the other out. So that kind of seems like low-hanging fruit in terms of a person who is a strategist in this game. What I don't think that people give Wes credit for is that he is a master in the game. Now, folks you can argue with me. Let's debate about that. And you can give your points, I can give my points. But I want to put all morality aside. If we're strictly talking about advancing to the final in the challenge, this man is a master. And I think folks miss some opportunities to align themselves with that energy.
Well, Yes has to sabotage somebody. Okay, he tricked me out with this. He asked, "What did he want?" And I'm like, "Bro, what are you doing?" Wes
Right.
is like, Wes is smart. He's not gonna just take the bait of something. And the whole thing with him and Yes in that conversation, I didn't get it. Yes, like if he gets sabotaged, it's game on. I expect all these kind of things. Yes versus West. It's like it doesn't. I don't know. I thought it was a little.
Look, I get where Yes was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree. I just don't agree that he was strategic. I think that he underestimated who he was talking to.
No,
And
I
I'm
agree,
gonna speak a
100%.
little bit about this on the Challenge Mania podcast with Derek and Scott Yeager. My position is this, right? You can come into it, kind of, self assured and as if I'm this good guy and I do all these great things outside of the game, and you have a reputation of being sinister, and because you are the bad guy and you are sinister and you are manipulative, I'm just going to let you be that manipulative person. And while he's saying all of this in their little, what I guess he calls a coffee date or a mini date,
Mm-hmm.
in no way is he making he's not meeting Wes where he's at. He's not meeting Wes from a position of mutual respect. And at this point, and it may be, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, Yes hasn't really had any interactions directly with Wes to fuel this. I think that you're this shitty person and I'm just this great person, and I'm not going to be a shitty person in the game like you. You don't know this man. You don't know the walk that he's had. And even though Wes tells us early on that it's his goal to stir the pot from day one.
He said that, yes, the same gameplay always, yes.
Right. It's kind of like, we were talking earlier, Kamisha, about, some aspects of, African-American culture and vernacular. When you sit down and play Bid West or Spades, you could be with your best friend, but if they're not your partner during the game, you're going to talk smack. And no love lost. You still love them the same. And so I think that that's where Yes makes his misstep. He doesn't respect Wes as a person by just saying, okay, what you were saying is some smack talk, some of it's some gameplay. I just want to kind of meet you halfway.
Right.
What can I do that can help your game? What can you do that can help my game? And where can we align? Like, he didn't come at him with mutual respect. That just kind of turns in a way. If Wes was targeting someone else other than Yes, he completely puts the spotlight on him at that point, because he's like, wait a minute, now this guy's calling me out my name, and he don't have a right to call me out my name, so I'm gonna take him down. So lucky for Jordan and some others who could have had Darrell or even
it's so
or even Derek, even though they're boys. At the end of the day, like I said, you could be friends with somebody, but you could also strategize to outsmart them in a game. Yes just kind of puts the bullseye on himself super early. But he kind of already had it because he won All-Stars 1.
So I guess it's time for the part of the portion of the show where it's time for the actual challenge, and it's like it's muddy time. Okay? They got I know, right? So they are in the mud pit and they have 2 heats. It's 3 rounds each. I look at this stuff. It seems like a long time to think myself. Your stamina got to be on point. The last man and woman standing, whoever doesn't make it out of the mud pit with the ball, they out. And in the hold on, I think I have a picture of it. Yep, I do. Boom. That looks crazy. Like, look at that. Maybe I'll be on the bottom. I'll be under somebody. They be like, where's she at? In the first round, they go straight to elimination. First round, it gets quick and it gets sloppy. Of course, it's supposed to do all that, the tingling things and everything, all this stuff. So they wear the ones who get the sabotage guy wear 35-pound weights, bro. I'm like, and then a 1 minute delay. It's like I don't want to say I give up, but Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm looking around right now, but I don't think that it's right nearby me. I think it's over there by the door. But I've been wearing this 11-pound weight vest. Even that, imagine wearing a backpack with about 3 or 4 textbooks in it. That's going to get you to about 11 pounds. So now you're going to multiply that by 3, and that's the disadvantage that comes from the penalty of being sabotaged.
Well, have you noticed how the girls, the way they were playing, they literally was coming after Kendall.
Yeah.
They're kind of all together, and I'm like,
Well, Kyla and Sylvia, they're real clear. They're like, we are an alliance, and we're gonna make sure that, if you're ahead and I'm behind and I have the ball, I'm gonna make sure you get it. So then you see that, it was like that one of those shows from back in the day, like the $10 million man or whatever. I can't remember the show, but it was slow down and you would hear him go. It was like slow motion. She throws the ball in the air, and then that partnership is solidified because guess what? The ball is caught. I felt like I was watching Monday Night Football.
yes,
really quarterback. That move. So Kyla and Sylvia solidified not only their alliance there, but they showed that they could produce.
I do feel like that. Is it? I don't know. Is it Kyla? I feel like that I don't know. I feel a little bit
Kayla.
away.
I always say Kyla, but Kayla.
Okay, I feel away. I'm gonna be honest because I've watched her in the other challenge. I love the other challenges. I feel like this challenge is coming in with this. I'm young, and there's nothing wrong with being young, but with the age shaming and ooh and I remember I was 10 when you girl stop because so many women probably wipe this floor with you. Okay, there were a few names in the challenge.
That rub me. That itch. That was an itch I just couldn't scratch
I was
well.
like, girl,
She
I
kept with
was
the
like,
ageism about they're this and they're that, and I'm like, you better keep that quiet. You better keep that to the confessional room because that's the kind of stuff that really will push a person to disprove.
tell you something. I will go to the gym tomorrow to go on a challenge to go against you just because you said that. Like, I mean,
right. Some people like me will record your voice and put it over some Wu-Tang and like listen to it over and over again. So that when I see you, I remember what you said.
Look, whatever. I will put on some old school rap. It doesn't even matter. You gonna see. I'm like, look, I know how to get a 6-pack. I'm telling you, they thought I was a coach. I know how to do this. I will get on there and shame her, not just in working out. Period. Anyway.
So yeah, I would say Sylvia, again on the Challenge Mania podcast with Derek Kaczynski and Scott Yeager, they have this thing where they give out awards to like MVPs of the game, and I feel like Sylvia gets the MVP because that, and you don't see that too much in the Challenge All Stars anyway. Folks truly keeping their word to say, hey, look, and especially since TJ told us this is an individual game, he told us that from the break. So, for them to come together and say, hey, look, if you're in the lead, I'm going to throw the ball to you. And if I don't make it into the authority or, if my name's on the table, make sure that I don't go into elimination. A lot of people wouldn't trust it. I don't know if I would trust it, to be quite honest.
I'm going to keep it real. So I do a commentary on Big Brother. And one of the things I have said over the years I've done it, watched it, whatever. And the one thing I preach, and I said there's a difference between the Big Brother shows, the cast. To be honest, I'm very sure about this and a challenge because with the women will go hard. Not saying that the Big Brother don't, but it's more of that over here. Second, the women come together more. On Big Brother, there are many seasons. If you watch and binge the last 5 seasons, you'll be angry watching it because you saw no unity with the women and the men took them out year after year after year. It's something that I've gotten angry over. But the challenge, I know, even though I might not like the girls who were involved, they're going to connect, get together as a group, and do the thing. And I don't understand why. If you're women in a situation like this, regardless of how you feel about Kayla, anybody else, baby, this is how you do that. The way they were out there in the mud, it's like regardless of who's going to get in, we're all winning. That's a smart move.
Did you peep the move, Veronica on Kendall? Did you peep that?
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting because there's this assumption that because Kendall is small, that she's not going to be able to, hold on to the ball. And
Right.
we going to go ahead and jump to, the winner of this competition, or do you want to slow back a little bit?
No, you good. We can go right there.
Yeah, but I think Kendall shows and proves, how strong she is from the break, because, I believe she's the first one, right?
Because they said Veronica tackles Kendall and they fight for the ball, but Kendall, I had in my notes, got in her arm, but Veronica's not letting go. It doesn't matter because Kendall slowly inches away across the finish line with the ball in her arms, dragging Veronica the whole way, sending Veronica to the elimination. I'm telling you, that was freaking everything. I wrote in my notes because I said,
yeah, she crossed the line first before Veronica, even with that adversity. And I think that we see that throughout this game, which makes, All Stars 3 to me so fascinating, because it seems as if every single time someone tries to sabotage or plot against you, that gives this round of challengers more strength, and they're able to really step up and show why they're there at All Stars.
And towards the end of it, so Tina and Kelly and Duke got to get a little wrestling. Sylvie get third ball. Pretty much Tina, everything happens for a reason. All the girls that wanted to win won. I'm just being honest. And they go to the men. And it was a sync because the music it was a song they wanted. They had to do. Mm-hmm. We are talking about the West and MJ being in the vest and all that kind of stuff. And MJ was kind of, to be honest, MJ was pissy that pretty much the whole episode, just mad until he started winning. I noticed that anyway. Right. Brad and Mark, they get across the finish line, do their thing. Wes and Derek and Cyrus get into the, and Cyrus was holding his own. Let me say this real quick, because I'm gonna tell you something. Cyrus was holding his own. I didn't see that last round go what happened, but baby, if you watch the tape, Cyrus was killing the game. I said, "Ooh," we was in that wall. Like, man, get off me! I was there. Ooh, I really wanted Cyrus to, but it is what it is. Yes, tries to get Nehemiah's ball, and that was so funny. When Nehemiah was going off on Yes, I was like, damn. But I know Nehemiah would get mad, but I was like, I can't say nothing. I get it. What do you think?
Nehemiah was a sleeping bear. Now you gotta remember, Wes and Nehemiah are aligned in this case. Right. If there was a palace in this game, Wes would be in it. You know what I'm saying? So that exists. So for Yes to think that he could wrestle with Nehemiah, again, I think it also hints to the fact that, like I said, outside of the game and everything like that, I mean, I'll speak to it. Yes is all that he shows us that he is, from giving away his prize money to being an activist to caring about families, to caring about his own family, really fighting for the rights of marginalized people. Like, that's a part of who he is as a real person. In this game, however, I think that he underestimates other people frequently, and kind of makes some assumptions about who they are, where they're coming from, and the preparation that they engaged in before they got there. Nehemiah is a boxer. Nehemiah can wrestle. Nehemiah works out like Jordan works out, or shall I say, Jordan works out like Nehemiah works out. They work out for fun. And then they have like strength and conditioning and agility stuff happening separately, but they do this other stuff for fun. And to think that you're gonna put your arms around Nehemiah's waist when that isn't, they didn't say when this gun goes off start wrestling people. They said when the gun goes off, try to get the ball across the mud pit and then try to get that ball. Right, if somebody else had the ball, you gotta try to get it from him. He didn't try to get the ball from him. He tried to strong arm this and bring him down and keep him going forward. Now, and that's you underestimated this guy, because I don't want to necessarily say that he could have had Nehemiah had a soft alliance with Nehemiah. I don't know. We don't get that opportunity because Yes kind of kicks that in the ass, and we don't get a chance to even see that possibly happen in this game. But yeah, one thing that if you want to get on Nehemiah's bad side, is to try to, try to sabotage him. And I think that's what Yes.
I was like, dang. I know that we were talking about this earlier. I want to show this picture about how people was talking about this, saying, was she wrong how she had it? But look at how little mama was letting that ball go.
She wasn't letting that ball go. She wasn't letting that ball go. She holding on to that ball like
Let me
like a
tell
side chick trying to hold on to her man. Like,
oh, not so,
like,
so
like
Veronica
a
and
wife
MJ,
with a
hold on,
man that got a
hold on,
side
Lord
chick.
Jesus.
Wait a minute. That metaphor got all messed up, but y'all know what I'm
They
saying.
know what's going on. They get
Y'all
it.
know what I'm
Period.
saying.
Look,
Kendall is the wife holding on to her man, and
they
Veronica
get
the
it.
side chick trying to, give her some struggle. But Kendall ain't let go of her that ball. She ain't let go of her man, and she gets
Hold
the
up.
ball across there. Now, was
That
she
was so that
wrong
was
with the
so
way
so
she
funny.
had her? That is a kind of a strong arm. That is a kind of a strong arm.
She was like, wait, hold on, wait, what?
That is a kind of a strong arm, but I think that if you notice her arm is like slanted over her
Yeah.
midsection,
Mhm.
she's not gonna have enough leverage to keep her from going forward unless Veronica completely sat down in the mud. Or if she yanked herself back, that would have stopped her. But if you're leaning forward on Kendall is still gonna have the momentum from her legs just pushing into the ground, even though the mud is soft. Kendall is that's what she does. Her upper body strength is super strong.
Yoga.
Her leg strength is super strong. So that flexibility is going to help her offset whatever kind of impact Veronica thought she was giving her by strong arming her from the top of her torso. Again, Kendall wins in that instance, and she gets the ball across the side, across the front, and doesn't lose it.
So what ended up happening being, as far as the authority, it was Kayla. I think I'm saying her name wrong, but I'm gonna say Kayla. I always say her name wrong. What is MJ partner's name? I know I say her name wrong. What's her name? I always say it wrong. And she's from New Orleans. She's biracial. MJ's partner that he won with. What's her name?
You talking about John A?
Yeah, I always say her name wrong. So
you know I remember how to say John A? The same way I tell people how to say my name. I always they say they jack my name up when they read it out loud sometimes. So I'll say Ayanna. So just think of John A or something like long wind, long stretch, John A. And I messed her name up. Like when I first met her, I called her like Joanna or something. And she's like, it's John A. Like it's John A. the group. That's stuck with me because I love John A. You remember Group Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. So Jeanne is killing again in this. You have a voice. Jeanne is really killing it again in this. We got Kayla, Jeanne, Sylvia, Brad, Derek, and Jordan will pick the opponents. Plus, Kayla and Brad will sabotage two people in the next challenge. So MJ is, of course, whining again. I'm sorry, he's a little bit. Asking Kendall, explain about the sabotage. Jeanne listens and all this stuff. And Kendall's like, it was premeditated, she just didn't think it would. And I believe when she says it. She didn't think it would get chosen. Jeanne says she would have rather Kendall sabotage her, which I thought that was weird. I'm not going to lie. This is her response. Jeanne says, I'd rather you have Kendall sabotage me instead of MJ. And I'm like, what? And
we talked about this too. When I talked about it with Derek, with Big D and Scott. You would have no, you wouldn't. Like again, and I love Johnny. I do. But I'm gonna call you out, Johnny. You don't want you don't want anybody to give you the sabotage. Now I get you got to say what you say in the moment. I think that the objective with her saying that was to kind of twist the knife a little bit, because Kendall made this move that impacts her alliance. However, that little piece about I would have rather you gave it to me. I call BS on that. What's that game called? Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Yes. But the thing about it,
I love you though, but I call bullshit.
But she still told us she was pissed off about it. And I'm like, Kendall is so upset about it. She's just being all apologetic and all this stuff. And she said she regrets it. And I'm just like, girl. So they had this whole 70s theme party. And it was cute. It was. Kayla, talking about, I don't know what happened in the 70s since I wasn't born for another 20 years.
And I had to pull out the church.
Girl. Oh my God.
No, Pastor, no. No
She's
pass.
talking about. She's talking about. I need to ask the players like OG Mark. I was like, you need to go sit down
Yeah,
somewhere.
maybe I'll ask Mark what happened in the 70s.
I was like,
Look, boo, let me tell you, Mark was a child in the 70s.
ridiculous.
Okay, like I was a kid in the 70s, which means we got time on us, which means we played outside, which means we only had three
Oh my
channels.
God! To the lights. Came
Right to the street lights came on. That means we know something. We know how to dig a hole in the dirt and make it fun. Talking about maybe I asked Mark what happened in the 70s. Yeah, girl. You know, them little one-liners, that's the kind of stuff that, like I said, you get the little, you say the little clip of their voice, and then you put some Wu-Tang behind it, and then you just keep on.
Woo, dang. Well, no, Killer Bees is my favorite song. I was gonna say that. My favorite song ever. Killer Bees. Oh my God, it's their song.
I remember that. I remember that one.
It's their song. Anyway, so of course Wes is gonna do his thing with politicking. It's like that's his thing. He gets in trouble, he politics in parties or whatever. And Wes tells Jordan to vote yes because he needs to get checked. And Jordan was like, yes, he hasn't been in elimination. I was like, oh my God, y'all trash. And Wes feels gross. Working with Jordan, I was like, I'm so done with Wes. But his hatred for yes is so strong that he's gonna work with his enemy. I'm like, I can't. So Kayla was like tripping about, we're not rewarding her behavior and attitude. I'm like, girl, I don't. Oh gosh, she's annoying because Veronica wants to give her choice of opponent for elimination.
Right.
I was like, that was your friend though, right? What happened? Anyway,
scratch the record, right? You know,
like,
how to say, wet the whistle. That's how Midnight Star says, wet the whistle.
like, interesting. All right, whatever. And Kellyanne is like straight up. She knows that because Kendall was playing like nice or whatever, they're going to be the ones that's going to really struggle, and it's going to get real dirty in the game.
Yeah, so, that's and as I'm watching it, and like I said, it's somebody that knows Kendall personally. Mm-hmm. I would have rather seen her completely just stand by what she did, and just own it, and just say, "Hey, look, I'm here to win this money. Hey, I don't really care about your soft feelings," but that's like asking her to be somebody that she's not as well. So I think that we do see her put herself out there a little bit more in this game. I don't appreciate people coming for her because she does. Because in so many commentaries and even side conversations with challengers, folks are always like, yeah, Kendall need to be a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. And the moment she shows y'all her diversity, y'all just come for her. So yeah, I didn't appreciate that. I'm like, just be a man. Don't be mad because she put the sabotage on you. Be a Jordan. Be like the water. Be like the Jordan. Jordan was like, give it to me. You here to play a game, MJ, and you won the last challenge. The last All Stars. So do what winners do and win. That's all I got to say. And I think when we go into the elimination, having that kind of energy is very important to go in it with this understanding that you're gonna win. I think we got a little technical difficulty, a little pause here. Okay.
Okay, did you get my message?
I did. I got it. So we good.
Yes.
So yeah, going into the elimination, you got to go in knowing that you're gonna take it, and that if for whatever reason it's not your day, you don't take it. You have to go into elimination knowing that you've done your absolute best. Again, save for crazy circumstances, like injuries or having to go home, because of some adversity. We do see that. go down. I believe in this episode, that happens in episode 3, correct? Where we find that Jemmy has some personal challenges at home, and she's faced with the choice of staying in the game or going back home to address those family concerns.
That was actually extremely, 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 extremely sad. That she had to do that, but I understood 100%. Family is family. That's super, super important. That's what you gotta do, unfortunately. Because I think she's good for the show, and she's just good a person. And she's from my state, Louisiana. So of course I love seeing her on the challenges. And she's real smart too. So.
Yeah, Jimmy actually reached out to me. She was one of the first people that reached out to me after All Stars 2 that I hadn't met yet with that's in the challenge universe. And I appreciate it. A lot of times people are standoffish, especially to people that maybe don't rock the way they rock or whatever. But she was one of the first people that reached out to me, and for that, I definitely give kudos just for that. I was going through a real tough time when she reached out to me too. I didn't tell her that, but I was. So getting that love from her, again, it doesn't take a whole lot. It's like the weight loss, to stay up. Sometimes it just takes just that little bitty dose.
Yeah.
Somebody reminding you that you can move from one point A to point B. You're seen, and they got love for you. So that being said, I believe she decides that she needs to take care of her family business and that she's not going to stay in the game. I don't think that we've seen the last of Jemmy, and I look forward to seeing her. When we were on All Stars 2, I'm gonna give a little bit of tea. Her name was not a favorite name of a lot of people on the cast. Like when her name would come up, they had a lot of little rah 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 to say about her.
Wow.
And I never met her, so who am I to sit back and judge what they said, or sit back and, at the very least of things, defend someone I had never met? But I do find that when a lot of people are coming down on one person, and when it's just like the whole group, this whole group think thing happens. Where even if that person wasn't as slimy or as shady as they were being presented to be, they're going to get the label of slime and shade because nobody, even folks that even rock with you, nobody got enough courage to rock the boat. Nobody wants to be in a room alone by themselves, right? So, again, I like to judge folks for my interactions with them, not necessarily for what somebody else went through with them. So, I don't think that we've seen the last of Jimmy. I hope we haven't seen the last of Jimmy. And, most importantly, I hope our dad is good.
Well, I wanted to ask, we're gonna kind of get to next episode, but how the fact that MJ wanted Cyrus and once one Yes thrown in, and people was against throwing Cyrus in, and I like the argument. Like, look at this guy; he's in the best shape of his life. He looks great. He's just come back. Why we want to send him home so quickly and look at him as a lay? And I was 100% was agreeing with that because
I think they threw Cyrus in because I think Cyrus kind of got the same bag that I got on All Stars 2. You got all these folks that have these alliances and these relationships, and then you got Side who has a relationship and alliance with Latarian. At the same time, Latarian has gone home. So at this point, I think that Cyrus becomes a target. He becomes like we were talking about before, he becomes a rock the boat target, right? Don't want to come for West because if West beats MJ, now you are the target. You don't want to come for Jordan because you already know that Jordan is a beast. And him getting another star, he definitely would have got a star against MJ. Come on now. Jordan versus MJ, not to knock MJ. Now, MJ's also an athlete. He has a long-standing football background, and he's a contractor, so he's up on roofs all day, all night. He's nobody to shake a stick at. However, if I got to put my money on Jordan versus MJ in a physical activity, I'm sorry, hands down, Jordan has proven just by sheer numbers that he has a higher probability of coming out on top. We saw Cyrus in All Stars 1. Cyrus was a fighter in All Stars 1. There was, again, he has a tendency on the All Star show to get have bad luck when it comes to being pushed into elimination. And I don't think that that changes here.
Mm.
But it
Mm.
wasn't because of his performance.
Right, I feel the same way. So, of course, about Jimmy.
If anybody should have been in there, it should have been yes.
You said
That
again.
might make him mad at me if he ever hear me say that. But if anybody should have been in there, it should have been yes.
I said we already spoke about Jimmy and her mom and having to leave and everything, which really was messed up and everything. We talked about that, and so the elimination. I remember TJ says I got this quote: "A lot has happened since the challenge." So Kendall and Veronica both gone off the hook. There'll be no elimination tonight. Once again, there's only one male elimination, and MJ and Cyrus they go into the sand. Now they're in this cage locked up. They got to throw enough sandbags. It looks so hard up into a hanging bucket into a lift wall. They keep bringing up Cyrus' basketball playing. I'm saying to myself, this to me, I play basketball. I still would have been completely lost. Revealing a window that had to smash with a hammer. The first player to free themselves from the cage through the window, ring the bell, wins. It takes endurance, being cool, chill, and it was difficult to watch, honestly, because MJ and Cyrus were throwing like the bags at like the same like pace to me, and then Cyrus
But
kept missing.
Cyrus's bucket, one of his bags, one of his sandbags, when he pushed it up there, the way it landed in the bucket, it
Mhm.
really caused that bucket to sway. So I think
Mhm.
maybe in the fatigue of the activity, because Cyrus, he was like a machine. If that bucket would have been still, all of those bags would have hit. But if you notice, when Cyrus would push those bags up, just like with basketball, if you got a moving basket, you have to make an adjustment, right? Like, but who plays basketball with a moving basket? The basket always is
Yes, true.
still. So for that skill set that he has to make them shots, that actually works against him in this game because it's the moving basket. So everyone, after a certain number of attempts, every one of his bags that was going up in the air was literally coming down in a perfect arc. But the basket would be over here and it was coming down onto the ground. Um, I think that he gets a chance to redeem himself when the basket does finally come down. MJ's
Yeah,
already, squirreling away at
yes.
the wall as if he was working on somebody's house, which if he was working on my house knocking out a wall, I would love the fact that he did it that way. Because if you think about it, that's the cleanest way to knock down a wall with drywall if you want to, number one, preserve the studs. Number two, make sure that you're not making a whole lot of mess. You're going to go towards the sides and you're going to pick away at it. It's also safer because think about it. If you're strategizing to not get hurt, to like hurt your arm or hurt anything
Right.
else, if you're already in the lead and you pick away at it, how you going to get hurt doing it the way that MJ was doing it? You won't. So theoretically, I get it. It was smart. You're not going to get injured doing it that way. However, this is where Cyrus gets to catch up. So Cyrus finally gets in there and he's getting at that wall and he's getting at that wall and he's getting at that wall. And we see the result. It's just not his day. Literally, they are within half a second of each other to finish. It was a fight to the finish.
It
I
was.
think that activity just boils down to, again, the luck of the draw was not in Cy's favor that day. And this is where, the game ends for him. I hope that this
Ah,
ain't the last time we've seen Cy. He put in a lot of work to be ready and prepared for All Stars 3. Again, we hope and pray that the stars align and we get All Stars 4. It would not surprise me if we see him again.
do you think? I mean, well, I mean, of course, don't say you know or anything, but that was hard to watch. He was in the best shape, and I was looking there like, oh my god, and I don't know. It was hard to watch. I would say that, in my opinion. My heart broke for him watching that. But
All right.
yep,
You know,
okay,
and, it is what it is. It's a part of the game. It's the beauty of the challenge.
it is. But at the same time, I was one of the ones that, and it wasn't just because of anything, or because I interviewed him or anything because he was black. It wasn't even about that. I felt like this man is. Like, I
I
don't
think
know.
this is
It's
a
very
good time
important for
too. Even to talk about the All Stars 3 premiere, you know, I can give a little sidebar to that. You know, a little piece of information that I didn't share with anybody yet. I mean, I've shared it informally, like in personal conversations, but I haven't like
right.
gone on the podcast and talked about it. But you know, during the fall, like first off, I've never been to a premiere for any show that I've ever been on, whether it was Road Rules or any of the challenges. You know, I just wasn't in a position, and things were happening in my life during that time to just not be able to attend. So I was really excited to finally, after 20 something years of being on reality shows, get an opportunity to dress up and go to a premiere. And the stars didn't align. You know, I had two family members fall ill, one of which wound up passing like 3 days after the show premiered. And then another family member passed this January, but that's when she had started getting sick. Um, I called upside and we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm putting this event on." And I asked him, I was like, "Well, look, I would love to come, but I'm not from Los Angeles, and I'm not in that world to know whether or not I'm invited or if it will be received well." I didn't want to offend by just showing up and not saying anything. And Cy didn't do nothing but show love. He was like, "Girl, you better come on, just come on." And he showed me love around the time that my uncle passed. And
Yeah.
a lot of times people know you're going through stuff, but they don't really care. So they don't really see you as human. They just see you as whatever that one thing they don't like about you. They see you as just that. And so for him to reach out to me and to show love and to show compassion, I will never forget that. But he's always been good to me. Like even when I was on Extreme Challenge and got kicked off, he was one of the only people that reached out when I got sent home. He's
He said,
always been good to me. He's always been good to me. Just 100%, not one way and then try and get the draws. Like, nope, never that. Like he's been nothing but 100 with me. And that's the kind of reputation that he has with a lot of people. So,
I'm not surprised. He was the
I
first.
just don't think we've seen the last of Psy. I just don't. I hope not.
He was the
I
first.
know he's
He
about
was
to
the
get
first one.
married or whatnot, but he really created a special event. And I'm gonna just ask your viewers, if you haven't had a chance to go on his page and just see what he was able to put together with RZA Entertainment, like I felt like I was Cinderella. I felt like I was in a dream. It was amazing. Just I mean, I'm still kind of floating from that experience because that's when I had a chance to meet Nia, meet Jordan, Nelson, Corey, the other Corey, right?
Right.
Jeremiah, all in one place. And then I get the chance to reconnect with Kendall and Tyler and, folks that I had, some other people that are associated with the show, but are behind the scenes that y'all don't get a chance to see. Like, literally, I felt like, I just felt like it was a family reunion that I could never ever recreate in the same way. It was excellence. It was
Sounds
pure
like.
excellence from the pre-show, pre-party um, to Senator Jones to Nia's party the next day.
I
I mean,
bet.
I'm telling you, talking about that weekend could be its own podcast. So
Oh
maybe you can
my
get
God.
Cy on and talk about it. Like,
Yes,
it
girl.
was,
I'm
it was
like, look, that's
epic.
some stuff we need to.
It was epic. It was epic. So yeah, hopefully we won't see the last aside, but
No,
you know,
I don't think we will. I think that we got more side coming. I really could. I believe the reunion I predicted is going to announce something. Maybe this is last season, whatever. But he's coming back. Let's get into the second. I mean, the fourth episode, and
this is where oh my gosh, you
oh my
talk
God,
about.
look, it's so much. So, okay, so let's get into this.
I feel like saying how you doing because this is
Look,
like, woo, it's Wendy Williams episode.
look. I was like, is this just whole? This is just trash right now. Okay. So anyway, Darrell. Anyway, everybody was like, everybody on the blog been saying, where has he been at? Nobody hadn't seen him in the edits or whatever. And he's like, I really ain't been doing that great. I ain't been in authority because he's been like hiding and all this. I'm like, they talking about Darrell a whole lot this episode. I said, he's going home. I swear to God, I watched it. I said, they're showing too much of him in the intro. He's going home. I said that. Okay. And I
And
never said that.
your thing. You're like, when they show too much of you, you going home. So that's been your thing.
In that first intro like that, I'll say he goes to script. I said, so he's always felt like the whole thing with not winning coming there, which I always felt bad about. He's really a good player. I just don't know what it is. I don't know. Everybody gets frustrated because he's so smart and I don't know what's going on, but I still love him. So anyway,
It's a heights thing, man. It's like we in so many ways he is that he is. It's like it's his kryptonite. You could be Superman and have something that can knock you out the park, and heights seem to be his kryptonite. But I thought that he possibly had gotten over that with All Stars 2 because he did so well on the skyscraper challenge, the skyscraper the skyscraper trivia challenge. He did so well on that. So, for him to be faced not only with a similar challenge, but to have to walk out on a plank. In All Stars 2, we were not on a plank. We were on a beam, right? And that beam was, you had a little bit of stability on that beam, and there was a wooden plank on the ground. So there, for as much stability as you can have being on the edge of a 20-story building, we had that. TJ takes that away with episodes 4 challenge, and they are walking the plank. And we are told during that challenge that there's 3 of you, and there are 3 math problems, and whoever gets the math problem right first drops both people and gets to choose in which order they drop. That's and then the person that is dropped fastest, they will go straight into the elimination. So Darrell surprises us because I'll let you spill the tea about it.
Well, before we get to the spilling of the tea of that, let's talk about the spilling of the tea of the Jordan and the Nia. Now, I watched the season. I actually watched that season, and I saw the back and forth. I know he made a little slur. Okay, I get it. But they were young and whatever.
Listen, okay, I gotta segue it right. And some of y'all gonna be mad because people got this idea in their head that I'm one thing and I'm more than one thing.
Right.
I seen Jordan in person.
That's all I
gotta say. I seen that man in person. He's one of them. He's one of those people that have it just drips off their whole being, just the whole sexual energy, girl. Even if you're not specifically attracted to that person, it oozes. It makes you want to go home and call your person, like, hey, WYD. WYD later. I saw somebody earlier that just got me like, I need to see you today. Like
100%
in person.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, the camera don't lie when it comes to Jordan. So to see them kind of, cross that line of we've had this tension and we ain't, to see them cross that line, I understand it. I don't know if we've ever had this happen on All Stars, though. I don't know. I think they may. I don't know. We got to go back in time because it's alluded to between Nehemiah and Jemmy on All Stars 1. But, they both have said in all of the media, social media or whatever, that nothing really happened. So, I believe that, right?
They did, yeah.
It's one thing to cuddle, and it's another thing to consummate. So when I saw them consummate it,
I saw some movement. There was some movement.
Hercules.
I was like, okay, go ahead, Nia. So we already know Kayla and Sylvia.
I was excited for it.
I was too. But look, hold on. Let's get back to Kayla and Sylvia. Where they want to get out Kellyanne and Kendall, of course, and they just really want to target them. Kellyanne and Kendall, Kellyanne tells Kendall she gets why she sabotaged MJ, and didn't help the alliance. She's feeling like regret. I'm like, girl, just make the move and don't be tripping. All right, now we're on the challenge. It's called High Stakes.
Yes.
Okay. Wes, I put this quote down. Wes says to TJ, "You sick F." But it was like, oh my God. Now, this is the one I got for this one, baby, because let me tell you something. When they had to, I'm not about to drop. Anyway, so they have to make their own teams of three. And
Yeah.
of course, everybody's tripping, going crazy. MJ's going to be Jordan. Nehemiah grabs Wes and Brad. And Kayla and Sylvia grab Kellyanne to be the third to keep the enemy close. I thought I'm doing a football commentary.
I
So
get my fan out, but I'm sorry. I'm still kind of thinking about that.
I know. Good Jordan is
Consummation. See,
look.
this is my All Stars fan. This is my All Stars fan. I had to pull my fan out for that. Woo.
So I think Kayla and Sylvia grabbed Kellyanne to keep the enemy close. Of course, Kellyanne don't like that, but I understand they were smart for doing that. So it's a heights challenge, and the rail's like, it's 150 feet in the air, 3 planks, simple math equation. They say simple. Waiting at the end. The first to solve the equation in the heat will drop two of the players in whichever order they choose. Like you said before, go straight down. Math, I struggle. So me, I'm like, So for Kayla chooses Kendall and Brad chooses MJ. So that means Kendall and MJ will have 1 minute time penalty. Jonay is not happy about any of that. Derek, Mark, and yes, both Mark and Derek are freaking out and tripping because of heights, right? But we know what ended up happening. Okay, for one thing, Sylvia starts tripping. She panics. I'm like, what are you talking? She freaks out. She's crying, all this kind of stuff. Kellyanne thinks it's the funniest thing. She said, if you want DQ, it's cool. I'll say your name first. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm like, girl, stop it. Kayla calls check. It's not good. Kayla was smart because she kept just choosing different symbols, and kept saying check. She was smart to me in this game, I feel like. Everybody trying to figure out 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 5 is 6. She was like, check, check. And I was like, that's how you do it. Okay.
And she was like, is she just saying check for anything that she comes up with? And she said, But what I respect was her second response when she was like, smart. Because yes, if you're not the best at math, you need to go ahead and strategize, not just sit there and look stupid. So I think that that was an interesting move, but I need everybody to go on Khan Academy before the next challenge. Y'all know there's gonna be some math. So go on Khan Academy and get better, y'all. That's all I got to say.
Hold on. The whole thing that Darren said was hell no. He said, I said, Jesus.
That's all he said.
You never keep me flying down. Nothing.
That's
so he quits the height. She said, I'm not doing it. He DQs. Now, Jordan has 1 minute to figure out the equation. This is what tripped me out. MJ had to wait because of sabotage. And his words, his entire life, he's been doing all kinds of sports and training physically, but math, I was like, boy, he's some kind of superhero. I don't know what it is. I'm so serious. Yeah. So Rhodey, Jonah, and Beth cries, freaking out. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous.
And you just got brought back. I'm like, she's your audition. You just got brought back, Beth. You just got brought back. So I'm gonna need you to go on ahead and go on one of these apps and install it on your phone, girl, because you got to count all your lashes money. Let me tell you, I got to get a tea about Beth. So Beth at the All Stars 3 premiere, she blessed me. She has lashes, and she has like a company where she does lashes. And lashes have been something that I've been exploring in this new phase of my life of enhancing my look and things like that. So she gave me some lashes. I've tried one of them out. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the next event that I can, go on ahead and put them things back on. But girl, you make a lot of money off them lashes. You need to count your money right. So get your little app on your phone and get your math right. Because Beth was like, oh, no. I didn't know she was afraid of heights like that.
I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So Beth seems to have
I
like
love that.
Beth had a good attitude. I feel like in this, and I felt it. Um, that to kind of skip through some things. I don't want to give detail by detail. We know what happened. Nehemiah West and Brad wins, sending West down before Nehemiah. Nia, Veronica, and Kendall go next. Nia freaks out. Kendall, but she does good though. Not good, but she goes. I mean, she does. I'm saying what I'm trying to say. Kendall waits
Right. She
for a
keeps
full
herself
minute.
out
She
of
does.
line of fire.
I thought that was good. The winners of each round are Brad, MJ, Mark, Veronica, uh, Jonay, and Kayla, forming the authority again. And I got something to say about that here in a minute. The two winners are Brad and Kayla for the second week in a row. Yay! MJ is already going to veto any idea, Brad. He's pissed off at him because, oh my God, it's an ego crap, whatever. Um, Daryl and Beth DQ, so automatically they're going in. So, what do you think about that? The same people in the authority again. Curious to know what you think about that.
Again, I think that it may have been different if the challenge was different. I would have loved to see Darrell go out there and try. I think that if Darrell had gone out there and tried, it could have been the authority could have looked a little different. However, I do think that the people that came out on top in this challenge are generally also not afraid of heights in the same way. You know, I liked Kellyanne's responses. She was just like, get it together. You're on the challenge. Like, what are you doing? So I like that. I like when women bring that kind of energy. Even if you are afraid of something, where you're coming to. You know what you came to do. There's people sitting at home that wish they could be you. So put your game face on. Let's go. But let's talk about where it goes in this game for the authority for episode 4.
You go ahead. Go ahead. Lead into it. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna pass the ball to you.
Okay, so to me, I feel like that it's the same thing over and over and over. I do like how Beth and Veronica do have their conversation, but how they kind of bury the hatchet a little bit. But it's like Mark tells Darrell his opponent is going to be either Wes or Jordan, and Darrell doesn't really have. He doesn't care. Jordan hope he can take him out in elimination. He says like I've got elimination. Take out Jordan's like Darrell, what are you talking about? Rather than like going in the final, which it kind of missed him, but it didn't. So West or Daryl or versus Jordan elimination. Pretty much we got here. Like I said, Beth and Veronica, they kind of so-called buried the hatchet a little bit. Veronica is.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. No, no, no. I think they tried to dig the hole to maybe take the hatchet off the shelf and put it in the hole. But you ever try to make up with somebody years later and then they still can't let something go? So you wind up just taking that hatchet and you put it right back up on the shelf. I don't think the hatchet saw not a lick of
That's
dirt.
what I was getting. I was getting ready to say is that Veronica imitating Beth in the treehouse. I was like, girl,
Why was they throwing shade? They were like, when she came in talking about, can I have a bed? They were like,
that was so.
I said
So
that was mean girlish from the start. That was mean girlish from the start.
So Jordan's bed where Nia was under the covers because they hooked up and everything, etc., etc.
Yeah, wait a minute.
A decade later.
Yeah, I didn't really. I didn't for All Stars 1. I only watched every episode maybe twice, but I didn't get into the weeds to maybe see. But I think they may have christened the challenge, the All Stars challenge situation. Because I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed.
You're right.
Maybe I missed a rendezvous with a closet somewhere. I know I didn't get none on. I know I didn't get none on All Stars, but I think they may have done a challenge All Stars first. And I wouldn't have had that happen to two better people because, I'm a personal believer that, consummating, that gives you energy. That you don't lose no energy from that. You loosen up a little bit. You might be able to be a little bit more flexible, more pliable. So, I like this for them. Just to be serious, I like this for them. Like I said, I had a chance to meet both Jordan and Nia in person. Beautiful people, physically and on the outside and on the inside. Nia, oh my gosh, if you think she's pretty, like on the screen, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know
pretty.
when you're in her presence, she just has this ability to like just float through, everything from food to music to art, and she's smart, and she went to Howard, of course. On top of all of that, she was a very giving and caring person. So I like this for both of them, because then you have Jordan, who, like I said, just got back from Ukraine, and he didn't have to go, but he felt in his heart that that's something that he wanted to do, to help that effort. So, I wish the best for him. I really do. And, whatever this pans out to be, whether it's, something that's really
I
exclusive
need, I
or
need, I need, I need an interview. I need an interview, please, with Naya and Jimmy, please. I needed that to happen for two reasons. But I need it to happen, please.
listen, listen. I need to see them back for something. I don't know if it's All Stars or if it's the main challenge, but I need to see them back for something. Maybe it's Naya loves Jordan. I don't know.
Ooh,
But it's
cute. I love it.
I need to see them back
So,
for something, because, like I
so
said, I don't even think that you guys have gotten a real taste of either one of them yet in All Stars 3.
no, I
But I
think
hope
it's,
this
I
will be
think I
one of
think your idea that's actually everything. I think people would love to watch. If they did a YouTube series, people would watch it.
them. I think so.
Mark wants to vote Jordan because during the elimination, okay, William, he could hear Jordan rooting, which he was, against him. I get it, because he was going hard. MJ and Kayla won West. Veronica says the two people she wants least to see in the game win is West and Jordan. Everyone laughs. Kayla's like the strong, you get the group to like kind of vote either Kellyanne or Kendall. MJ is like throwing it to Ken. I'm sorry. I'm all about getting Kendall in there because of sabotage. Veronica wants to see Beth take out Kelly in. And I'm like, the authority ends up voting Jordan. Uh, uh, oh my God. What's her name? What's her name? Uh, Jesus. MJ and his partner voted for West.
Just always remember Groove thing, Johnny.
Johnny. Johnny and MJ voted for West, of course. Even though it's kind of weird because Johnny was talking to Whip. Anyway, and Jordan is not like shocked or anything. And he's actually really excited about it. Like, he always said like before, lights, camera, action, I'm on. That's how Jordan is.
Yep.
So Johnny says if Kendall's going to end, it turns out that everyone voted for Kendall and she's not shocked, but she's done. She was very frustrated. Kendall watching her out there was very frustrating. How do you feel about that? I was so like I was torn watching her out there.
I think it's just tough. Challenges, eliminations are not easy. And I don't care who you are. I think we really remember when you see somebody kind of rise to the occasion. Like, that stands out. But those moments when you're faced with your toughest moment, um, folks don't really realize that even if you're able to finish that moment, you still had to put yourself through a lot just to get from point A to point B. So, I love Kendall, full stop. And, I think that anytime that she goes out there, she puts her best and you see her best. Let's not forget, how she performed in the Let's Get Dirty challenge. Let's not forget all the times that we've seen her fly. So that's just kind of how I see it. Similarly to Cyrus, this wasn't her day.
About Cyrus, yeah,
Mm.
I feel that because at the end of it, I don't think people really realize what you guys. I say you guys because you've been through it, go through, and so when I do these commentaries, I always think about it. Like, look, I don't know how that feels to experience something like that. I have no idea, and to be out there fighting for your life, cameras are
When
rolling.
everybody said your name, when
Yes,
everyone said your name, like, do I think that everyone would have said Kendall's name if it had been a different situation? No, but she's outnumbered, and you got the two younger ones. If they were smart, Sylvia and Kayla, and they would have aligned with Kellyanne and Kendall, then they would have been. I mean, I think that would have been a force to be reckoned with. But that didn't happen. We don't see that. So you got
because
the tree
that was the
house.
goal. That was the goal to get them out. So they wasn't. And I think that what you're saying is actually goal. I think they could have got together, but no, they didn't want that to happen. I'm sorry. The treehouse is like a little game.
Just think about it. Imagine if Nia, Kellyanne, Kendall,
Mm.
Kayla, and Sylvia had it came together. Like, we're going to be an alliance, and been very strong with that. Now that may not have made sense in terms of the relationships, but if there had been a little bit of foresight and they'd seen that, that could have been a force to be reckoned with. Because Beth would have still been a floater because the treehouse really wasn't trying to accept her for real. But maybe they weren't able to see that. I know I've been in a challenge house where, I'm real aware you don't see everything. They may have thought that Beth's presence in the treehouse was, a stronger brick than what it actually was. But at any rate, let's keep it moving. So we got the elimination. We got Beth versus Kendall, right?
Yeah. I, that to me, both. Okay, let's talk about both. With Beth versus Kendall, you saw Beth was like, yeah, y'all thought I was a joke, and you thought I was gonna be here for one day, but no, I'm still here. That's pretty much what she was. She killed it. She killed it, and the same goes for even though Jordan went a different way, and like the mind thing and talking to him or whatever, you know, I don't know if the real part was even in it. I feel like maybe because he even said at the end, I need to work out, change some things because he looked like he was in a lot of pain when they touched his leg and that was he yelled like that. To me, that was like he really is in pain. Something is wrong here. Like what happened? What do you think?
I think maybe his leg locked up. That just to be. I was when I was watching it, I was trying to figure it out. Like I'm gonna just use it. And this is not a paid thing. Like I'm not being paid by 7 Up, but I would accept the 7 Up check. But look, so imagine you have this cylinder, right? Let me use this side, and you have one force pushing against one side, and the other force pushing against the other side, and you're trying to use sheer weight to get your momentum on this cylinder. So Beth is coming in probably twice in terms of just weight wise, twice the weight of Kendall. But then Kendall has flexibility, strength, and agility. So if Beth is leaning on weight to get momentum around this cylinder, and Kendall is banking on kind of trying to offset that, it's really going to take some keen strategy to offset Beth's weight because Beth's weight's going to win every time if you don't have a strategy to address it, if you're not coming in at the same weight. So I do think, like I said, it wasn't Kendall's day strictly because, that's even me trying to wrap my mind like, if I was in that circumstance, how would I have tried to address it? The one thing I could think of is that if the person was super heavy, right, and they got a little bit of give towards their way, I would probably try not to fight against it. And when the cylinder winds up turning and finishes turning for them, and they try to get the momentum to try to make it turn again, that's when I would try to overtake them when they were trying to I'm kind of stumbling on my words. So imagine this is Beth back here with a lot of weight, and this is Kendall up here with a little bit less weight. She's going to have to throw her weight to move the cylinder. But there will be a time when she throws her weight that she'll have to reset herself to try to throw her weight again. So when she's trying to reset herself, that's probably when I would try to take the moment to throw her off. Right. Then it becomes a matter of endurance because there's going to come a time when Beth might have gotten tired of throwing her weight. And then that's when I would have Muhammad Ali'd it, right? If I had to go against somebody that was a bigger weight. Well, I wasn't in the cylinder, and that's tough. That's just my initial thoughts behind it. With Darrell, I think his leg just got locked up. I think that you had a better match in terms of Jordan versus Darrell, but I think that maybe like he had locked his leg and got a Charlie horse. Like that's what I imagined it was because I know that I had sciatica and when I was pregnant, and when my leg would get locked up like that, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of women that have had sciatica. You're not doing anything until that pain stops. So that's what I saw. I don't know. Give me the other side of what you might think. That's what I thought I saw when I was.
Like I said, to me, it looked like he was in a lot of pain. Yeah. Even Jordan kind of stopped his Jordan. Even the character, like he was like, "Okay, bro, what's going on? You good?" Touched his leg. They touched his leg. He freaked out. Like, "Bro, don't touch me." He was in pain, and I legit thought this is not a good thing. And for Darrell, I feel like This is how I feel about it. You heard it here first with Week's Reviews. He's done the last what two? This is the third season, and he hasn't won. I have a feeling that he's gonna come back next year. He's going to win. I don't know why. I feel like he needs to go home early. He's going to prep. He's going to come back next year. He's going to win. Just like I'm telling you, as you hear it in here, they're going to bring John Bananas in here. And the reason why they're going to bring, and this is a segue, the reason why he is because Wes is here. Whenever Wes is anywhere on challenge, John Bananas is not that far away. And I watched that trailer again the other day just to make sure of the hints that they were giving and dropping. I said, that is going to be Johnny Bananas. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's one episode, he's coming. He's coming.
We shall see. We shall see.
So anyway, you got any final word? Jordan did his thing, of course. We love Jordan over here. He did his thing. No shade or anything. He did what he had to do. The rest of you gonna go home and get stuff together. Then you'll come back next year and dominate to the point they're gonna win the entire season, in my opinion. The girl did what they had to do. Not everybody wanted to fly and go into the water. There was like no, hell no, in my the real voice. So looking forward to next week. But of course,
I am looking forward to next week. I'll be honest, it's very tough for me. I don't know if I'm looking forward to. I don't know if it's gonna be all about the speculation around what's really happening behind closed doors. Part of me hopes that I don't wish that for anybody. I don't wish hurt and heartache. If it's the truth, I don't wish hurt and heartache on either one of their families. If it's,
I'm gonna say be careful. I'm gonna say be careful when people say things like, and then this is no shade to Beth or anything, just straight up saying, "Oh, they had it to do." I feel like this. Be careful because you put things out there and it's not true. Even if the truth comes out, they didn't do it. You put it out there, and that's sometimes for a lot of people it's enough. And may never believe even if the truth in their face. So all I'm gonna say with that is just be careful with your words, how you use it. It can be very dangerous.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, okay, because like I said, this isn't the first time I heard it, and one thing I like about All Stars is that All Stars has, so far kind of been like fun. It's been, we got our own little dramas and whatnot, but for the most part, right? Families ain't being broken up around what's happening on All Stars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Flirty, whatever. Okay, great. But now you getting into, two individuals that, got children and families at home. And it just, to me, it's walking a slippery slope. When you start changing the dynamics of what people expect to see. So again, I hope that was a sound bite, some clickbait to just get people to tune in and see. And I hope it's shut down if it's not true. If it is true, my heart really just goes out to the families because, I can only imagine what it's like to be sitting at home. You sacrificed in order for somebody to be there. You know what I mean? You the one that's picking up the kids from school and making sure they fed and making sure that the lights is on and everything. And to even have something like that dancing around in your head, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So I hope it's completely 1000% untrue. And if it is true, my heart goes out to the families, first and foremost, that there is healing associated with both. Like I said, I just met their family, like her whole family, like a week and a half ago. Good people. And I will segue all of that as well with I'm kind of an open relationship sort of a person, just personally. I do think that love can look different, I'm not polyamorous in that way. Like you ain't gonna see me with like 8 sister wives and 4 brother husbands. But I do have an understanding that sometimes what love looks like, it can be a little bit more fluid than what traditional folks would understand.
Right.
So for me, I just don't want hurt for people from anything.
Oh, so you say if I get you trying to say if you're more open.
Right. Like for example, before everything blew up with Will and Jada or whatever, it was kind of like, hush hush that they had an open relationship.
Right.
And I was never like ew about it because I'm just like, okay, if that floats his boat, if that floats her boat, and they still able to come together with mutual respect, that's their business. You know what I mean? Just don't make it messy. That's just always been my take. Like, you know, I mean, I like a lot of different things that a lot of people would think are a little bit off brand. So, you know, but I'm very careful to not hurt anybody in my movements. You know, I would never want someone to, you know, try and take their life or, you know, have that inner narrative that could keep them from being their best self, have that be tainted with, you know, some sort of, you know, sexual scandal or whatever.
Right.
So all that being said, I hope this is a preview to that being shut down. You know, again, I've heard more people say it's not true than it is true. So, you know, if it's untrue, let's shut that shit down and not break up, you know, two happy homes.
Happy homes. Yeah, I
You know
agree.
what I mean, if it is true, like I said, I just hope healing and understanding for all people involved. And that's what I got to say about it. It's the first time I'm talking about it. So
Yes. I want to shout out to that. It was some of this black girl magic today. Okay. Commission reviews and Ayanna from the challenge. Want to thank you, Queen, because this was a really good and insightful recap today. We gave you some things, and it's gonna be on my podcast. Of course, if y'all don't know, y'all will see this and hear it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you don't want to watch the YouTube video or watch on Twitter, and Twitch will be a broadcast as well. Shout out to Ayanna again, the mama, the master plan, the queen of all these things, okay? Ready to go whenever. Uniform up under her uniform.
all right.
Let it be your catchphrase every time you do something. Like, I was ready.
I wear the uniform. I did the uniform. Let's go. Yeah, I love you, girl. I gotta go. See you
All
soon.
right, mama. All right, bye. Thank you. All right, guys. We just had well, it was a little muddy.